I ended up with some type of flu, a viral infection or a flu in 2000. And I was sick for 6 weeks, and I finally went to the doctor because I wasn't getting any better. It was like my body was falling apart. And it was one thing after another, a whole list of medication. I saw a rheumatologist, several other specialists, and I just wasn't getting well. Well, this went on for many years, and my daughter actually met a woman that had a lot of my symptoms. And she said, "Mom, this lady sounds like you." And I said, "Well, what does she have?" "Well, she has Lyme." And I was like, "Lyme? I don't have Lyme." And I really wasn't going to go get tested. I was convinced that it was something else. I had the Western blot IGeneX test. It came up positive, and I had Lyme. And they think that I've had Lyme since 2000.
About 15 years ago, I realized that my knees were not functioning very well. Was not able to move or function, and I had a torn meniscus that was then diagnosed that I had osteoarthritis in both of my knees. It took about 10 years to that point where I just could not function. I couldn't move. Pain was great. Just could not walk, couldn't do anything. I had not been able to walk. I did some physical therapy. I was on a lot of pain medication, a lot of pain meds for all of those years. For about 12 years I've been on pain medications just to be able to function.
I was on antibiotics for 2 or 3 months. I had stomach problems. I just didn't feel right. I was on the fence, so I thought, well, I'll get a second opinion. Well, I had a 45-minute phone consultation with another naturopathic doctor. And I asked him, is there anything else I could possibly do to feel better or to have this progress in a more positive, quicker manner to get me well? And he asked me if I've ever heard of PEMF therapy. And I said no.
When Lori spoke to her naturopath in Portsmouth, his biggest selling point for her was, we need to limit the time that you're on medication. With PEMF, we're actually taking the cell, we're detoxifying it, we're kind of cleaning it up a little bit. And by doing that, we're exposing the cellular membrane. Therefore, the patient is able to download any medication, nutrients, food, better into your body, makes them heal quicker, makes their medication more effective for them, therefore they won't be on it as long. And that was really important for Lori, to not be tied to medication for that long.
I would say after the first time even, I felt like I had more energy, I felt more clear, my mind worked a little bit better, things just progressed and got better and better as I went on.
A lot of Lyme patients, one of their major side effects of the disease is brain fog. Memory loss, forgetting their words, not being able to have a coherent sentence because their brain, by the disease's form, is just overtaking their memory. When we place the butterfly loop on the head and we're actually focusing on the brain at a very low frequency, it cleans it up, kind of takes the cobwebs away and really lets you think again with a clarity.
So as a rolfer, I was working with one of my clients, and as I was talking with him, he was mentioning PEMF, and he was ecstatic about it. A couple weeks later, I had been doing a lot of massage, a lot of rolfing, and my right wrist was like a 9 on a pain level, and I had no strength. I would say I lost 90% of my strength in that hand. So I had taken a referral from my client and decided that I was going to try it out for my wrist. It was a very unique feeling, and I could tell something was happening in my body, like things were connecting. So right after the treatment, my pain level went down to about a 7, which I thought was pretty good because in a 12-minute session, my pain level came down 2 notches. The big surprise came the next day. When I woke up, I was like looking at my hand, what's going on? I went from a 9 to a 7 right after the treatment. When I woke up in the morning, it was a 2. And probably the biggest thing I noticed was I was able to make a fist where I couldn't do that before. And I felt probably 90% of my strength was back in my wrist. And I thought to myself, there's something to this PEMF.
So About 8 months ago, I had a knee replacement, but there were still some issues that were happening with the knee. I had heat that was emanating from my knee, I thought kind of at an alarming rate. I had quite a bit of nerve damage, so there was not a lot of feeling in my knee. There was lots of pins and needles, and there was still some pain and stiffness, and Greg said, "I think you should try this." I said, "Okay, okay, I'll go a couple of times." And there I began my PEMF journey.
Shauna came in for PEMF after seeing Greg for rolfing. It was definitely helping her. She needed more attention. I noticed mostly with her that the heat was radiating from her knee pretty significantly, and the inflammation was pretty obvious and evident. Her knee didn't have form. It just was one large lump of inflammation. When that happens, we treat with a butterfly loop. We place it right on the area of inflammation, and we pulsate enough of the magnetic frequency through her, well, that will bring it down.
My life with a PEMF knee is much different than it was 3 months ago when I started on it. It was a very gradual type of thing. I realized that, oh, the swelling is down. I have dimples in my knees. There's a shape to my knee that I hadn't had before. The heat went away. The nerves started to come back, so I had feeling in my, I had feeling again and not as many pins and needles and trouble with that. Little things of, I could go to the grocery store and come home and go, oh, that didn't hurt, and I was out all day on my feet. And I've been able to function in ways that I haven't functioned in 15 years.
Today, I feel I am a totally different person than I was 5 years ago, even 6 months ago. My mind feels clear. I feel like I can carry on a coherent conversation, whereas before I couldn't. Knowing what I know now and what I've been through, I would highly recommend PEMF therapy to anybody, especially Lyme patients, because of the fact that I really feel this has helped me tremendously. I don't think I would be at this point in my recovery that I am without it.
I recommend it to anyone that I can talk to. It has just been quite a miracle in my life to be able to function and to heal so quickly, and to have the issues that were such a problem, so prevalent, to diminish so quickly is just a testament to me that this really works.